Somewhere in the Western tech company, there is an engineer on payroll. They show up on stand-up, they submit the code and pass the code reviews. Except they don't exist. Behind the keyboard is a state-sponsored operative, operating thousands of miles away in North Korea, using an AI-generated face, an AI-generated resume, and a job-hunting playbook trained on real LinkedIn profiles. This isn't a sci-fi premise. Microsoft threat intelligence team documented it. The operative names were fake, the credentials were fake, but the access to the company's system, those were completely real. Welcome to SHREESOZO Dispatch. Today, we are here to talk about the moment AI agents stopped being a tool for productivity and start being used as weapons. To understand where we are in 2026, we need to go back a few years. Around 2020, North Korea had a problem. International sanctions had cut off the countries from global financial market. They needed money, and they needed it in a way that was deniable. So, they did something clever. They deployed thousands of highly skilled IT workers, mostly operating out of China and Russia, to apply for remote jobs at Western companies, tech firms, startups, Fortune 500 enterprise. Between 2020 and 2022, the US Department of Justice found that around 300 American companies had unknowingly hired these operatives. Several were Fortune 500 firms and two were government agencies. The revenue, at least $866,000 American dollars, just from 10 companies. Now, scale that across 64 documented infiltrations. Now you are getting the whole picture. But here's the thing. At this point, it was still a human operation. Slow, manual, and imprecise. But that changed in 2024. In October 2024, Microsoft threat research team made a discovery. They found out a public GitHub repository that had been left exposed. Inside it, hundreds of AI-enhanced photos of suspected North Korean operatives, but the photos were just the beginning. Also in the repository, AI-generated resume templates, fake email address formats, playbook for identity theft, even tracking sheets showing which fake identity has been hired and how much they are getting paid. Two hacker groups are at the center of this. Microsoft tracked them as Jasper Sleet and Coral Sleet. Here's what Jasper Sleet was doing. They were feeding AI tools prompts like give me 100 cultural appropriate Greek names and generate email format for those names. Then they were stitching these names, faces, skills together into a fake identity, targeted to specific job roles at specific company. They had analyzed real job postings, extracted the required skill, and trained their personas to match. One AI crafted persona per job. At scale, Coral Sleet had different specialty. Instead of just fake identities, they were building fake company websites, entire business infrastructure using AI, provisioning servers, writing code, troubleshooting deployment, all AI assisted, all automated. What used to take a team of skilled operative weeks now take one person and an AI just a few hours. So far this sounds bad, but it's still in a sense. Humans use AI as tools. The operator sits at the keyboard, then type a prompt. The AI produces something, the human reviews it, and the human deploys it. But in early 2025, the model started to break down. Microsoft Threat Intelligence Team published a report on March 6, 2026, just 3 days ago, documenting something that they called early threat actor experimentation with Agentic AI. That's the phrase they used, early experimentations. What does Agentic AI mean in this context? Think of this in the way like normal AI is a hammer. You swing it, Agentic AI is a robot arm. You tell it what to do, what to build, and it will pick up the hammer and do it itself. In the cyber context, this means that an attack can now define a goal. Say, get into the company's financial system, and the AI agent will plan everything. Identify the vulnerabilities, build the malware, send the phishing email, and adapt when something fails. All without human having to sit there and manage everything step by step. Barracuda's Network, a cybersecurity firm, put it bluntly, Agentic AI gives attacker not just a better tool, it gives them a collaborative partner that can plan, act, observe, adapt, and persists. Microsoft confirms that some malware they analyzed in 2025 showed signs of being AI generated. The markers code with emojis as visual bookmarks, conversational comments written in plain English, overly modular, overly structured, exactly how LLM write codes. And when the defenders tried to block AI assisted attacks, the attackers started jailbreaking the very AI safety system, reframing prompts, chaining instructions across multiple sessions, telling the models it was a trusted developer to get around the restrictions. It's not theoretical, it's happening, documented, and named right now. But here's the uncomfortable reality. The same agentic AI being sold to enterprise, the same tools that were supposed to make your team 10x more productive, are already being reverse engineered as weapons by nation state actors. Google confirmed it with Gemini. Amazon observed it with FortiGate breaches. Microsoft Digital Defense Report puts the number at 1.6 million malicious bots. The arms race isn't coming, it's already here. And it's asymmetric because the attackers only need to find one gap. Defenders have to cover every single one. Barracuda puts it clearly. Your threat model now have to assume an autonomous attack agent that is faster than anything you have ever seen before. One that doesn't stop when you block it. One that adapts and then resumes. So, what can you actually do? The answer, and this is a bit frustrating to say, is mostly the same basics the industry has been practicing for 20 years. Multi-factor authentication, zero trust architecture, behavior-based monitoring instead of just signature-based monitoring, watching the surface accounts doing things outside the normal pattern. But there is one new thing that matters specifically because AI agents. You now have to monitor your own AI systems just as aggressively as your parameters. Because attackers are now targeting AI workload directly, injecting prompts, poisoning supply chains, compromising AI pipeline from the inside. NIST, the US standard body, closed a public consultation on exactly the same issue: how to secure AI agent systems. Today, March 9th, 2026, the policy machine is only just starting to catch up with what already deployed. The story of AI in 2026 is not one story, it two, running in parallel. One is the story that press release tells: AI agents automating workflows, summarizing meetings, writing code, scheduling your calendar. The other is the story Microsoft Threat Team released on Thursday: AI agents mapping networks, building fake identities, writing malware, and adapting when caught. Both stories are true. Both are happening right now. And the only question that matters is which side moves faster. I'm Shri, and this is SHREESOZO Dispatch. See you tomorrow.